Today is day 32 of the longest government shutdown in American history. Federal workers are about to miss their second paycheck. More and more TSA agents aren't showing up to work, and the government is so broke the Statue of Liberty had to get a temp job at Quiznos. But it looks like there may be some good news today, because it looks like the shutdown may be coming to an end.
Breaking news to tell you about: there could be an end in sight to the partial government shutdown now in its 32nd day. The New York Times reporting this afternoon that the Senate will vote on Thursday on two separate bills that would end the shutdown immediately. One includes funding for the president's border wall. The second would extend funding for agencies currently shut down, that funding through February 8th.
Congratulations, Congress. The first step toward doing the bare minimum. Yeah. We're proud of you. Yeah. Now, look, the truth is, passing these bills is still a long shot. But right now, I feel like everyone is so desperate this counts as good news, which it shouldn't. You know, it's like if the doctor came out of the operating room and said, "Great news about your husband's cancer surgery. I've made the first incision, and I'm almost ready to remove the sponge that I left inside him the last time. This is good." And the big plan is to pass funding through February 8th. That's the weirdest thing ever. America's just gonna re-up the government for 2 weeks at a time, like it's a Boost mobile plan. Be like, yeah, this is my burner government. I don't like to get attached. In other news, this week is the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. It's an annual event where all the world's leaders gather to talk about the economy and, the state of the world. And in their downtime, they perform ritual sacrifices to the Dark Lord Baphomet. What, you guys think they were just binging BoJack Horseman? Is that what you're thinking? This is the Illuminati, people, grow up. But this year, the list of attendees is much shorter because there's a lot going on in many developed countries, right? The United States isn't attending because of the shutdown. France isn't attending because of their protests. Britain isn't going because of Brexit. Putin isn't going because he's Putin. At this point, the guest list is looking like the Evite to Chris Brown's Oscar party. It's just like, oh yeah, I don't know. Even India isn't sending anyone, which, I'm sorry, like, are you telling me they couldn't send one person? They've got 1 billion people in their country. It's just like everyone, the Indians are like, look, we would have loved to come, but there are 1 billion things to do here, okay? You go on without us. But the African countries are still going, right? Yeah, they're like, finally, Uganda's time to shine, yay! Like, we didn't invite you, Uganda. It's like, it doesn't matter, we are still coming, yeah? Moving on now to Japan, home of 93% of the world's weird stuff. It turns out they have to dial it back a little because it was getting too much, even for them.
A hotel in Japan says it is firing its robot employees.
What did they do? The hotel initially started using the robots to try and maximize efficiency. You might remember some of them were built to look like dinosaurs, but guests are apparently complaining. The robots are just a nuisance, they say. The gadgets wake people up in their rooms thinking they're asking a question when they're actually just snoring.
They actually have Raptor robot bellhops, and those didn't work so well either. Humans had to come in and do that job. And then 2 robot luggage carriers could only reach about 24 of the 100 rooms in the hotel, and they failed in rain or snow.
It's crazy that this didn't work out. No, because I don't know about you, but when I'm jet-lagged after a 14-hour flight to Tokyo, the first thing I want to do is argue about my Priceline reservation with a Raptor. Yeah, I mean, that's a vacation, am I right? Like, even if you were going to get dinosaurs that are robots to help people, why would you choose a Raptor? They're useless at helping. Like, they can't reach the top floor in an elevator. And you always have to help them with your luggage the whole time. They're just like, yeah, can you give me the bag? No, can you bring it? Yeah, no, give it to me, and then I'll take it. Yeah, but just give me the thing. And worst of all, they're the most terrifying housekeepers. We actually have footage of them going into people's rooms.